What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing today? This is your guy, DeMarcus Tunstall, here with the Beta Project. You can always find us on YouTube at Humble and Focus. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a blessed morning. If not, we're going to change that. We really are today. So today is August 15, 2019, and today's quote is, "When things do not go your way, remember that every challenge, every adversity contains within it the seeds of growth and opportunity, or opportunity and growth." All right, and today's quotes or today's topic is going to be things not going your way? Question mark. All right, let's go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, how are you? I hope you're doing well. It's your guy, DeMarcus here. All right, let's go ahead and go. So I want to tell you a story about what happened to me this weekend because, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into it, I'm going to talk about when things ain't going your way. So when things aren't going your way, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tendency to go to this place. It's called this negative place. And this negative place that we're going to, it solves no problems, creates no solutions, and that actually keeps us way, way down, and it keeps us heavy. Think of wet cement. You know, if you stay in wet cement long enough, it's going to harden up over your ankles if you're standing in it. And I think that's a good analogy for what happens whenever we put ourselves in situations that aren't going our way. Because we don't take the time. How do you get rid of wet cement? If it's still wet, you have to wash it off. Instead, we stand in it, we complain about how much we hate being in wet cement, but we stay in it, and yet now we're a fixture in that negative. And now it hardens on us and becomes heavy, and the only way to get out is to chisel it out. When at first, it was easy to get off and wash it off, but then you get to the point where it's hardened and it's become something more, something different, something more substantial, and now to get it off of you is going to take a lot more work, right? So I want to talk about what happened this weekend. So I run a football league. You guys know that I run a football league on Sunday nights. And in the football league, I have to have 4 refs there to start the games. And I had to have 2 videographers there to start the games. And I actually brought on another videographer. She needed to do some special filming that I need to do, right? So I told everybody, I was like, hey, I sent out a message to all the captains because we haven't been starting on time. I'm like, we're going to start on time. We're going to have these jerseys here. Everybody must wear your jerseys. There's no switching. I sent out a message just giving them all the details of what was going to go on in life on that day. So I get there. I'm on time. I'm sitting there at my desk. First time in a long time I'm sitting at my desk an hour early. I don't know if I've ever been there waiting an hour early. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, and things just start happening. What do I mean? I needed 4 refs. I needed 3 videographers, right? 2 of the refs did not even show. One of the refs showed half an hour late. So I have 1 ref there on time. One of my videographers did not show. The other videographer was new, but luckily it was the second videographer, so I put her up in the stand. So I didn't get what I need to get done with the third videographer. And so then the jerseys. So let's start with this. So I didn't have my staff and my personnel to start the games on time. So that's number 1. So I'm like, Then let's start with this. Then the jerseys didn't show up. They weren't here in time. And so all these things started happening. People were, doing what they're supposed to do, but all these things started happening that were really throwing off my flow. And I started getting like, man, this is so bad. Oh my God. And I was getting stressed out. I was stepping in my wet cement. And I'm sitting here like, this sucks, man. You're like, man, how's your day, man? Man. And then all of a sudden, I stopped. And I was like, wait a second. I know better than this. And I started thinking, and I thought a little bit more. And the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I just gotta let it go. I gotta adjust my sails to the wind, not try to fight the wind. Are you trying to fight the wind to get somewhere, or are you adjusting your sails to get somewhere? We're not gonna talk about that, but we're just gonna say, just think about it. When that wind starts hitting you, and the wind is that bad, that negative stuff that's happening to you, and then you're just trying to fight the wind, you'll never be able to sail in the wind, but you can definitely adjust your sails and get some speed and come back around. So I finally changed over my thought process. So I wasn't sitting there complaining, and turns out I got everything finished. It wasn't the way I wanted it to go, so things were not going my way, hence the title. So things weren't going my way. They didn't go the way I wanted to go, but they got done. And then I have a higher up boss in another city, and I was like, man, this. He goes, it wasn't even that bad. So in my mind, it was horrible. Like I was like, oh man, I'm failing. I can't believe this. And he's like, nah, man, that's not even that bad. That happens. What's this? That happens. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Okay. So in my mind, it was a very bad place because it was what I wanted, and what I wanted didn't happen. So because it didn't happen, it was very bad to me, right? But in all reality, it wasn't even that big of a deal. He's like, okay, I got it. We'll take care of it and move forward. And that was one of the things I had actually moved out of that mental space of that negativity before I talked to him, but it definitely helped because I wanted to tell him what happened before he saw it on the video, right? But I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I had to make a mind shift in the middle of what was going on with me and say, wait a second. Ain't much I can do about it. I just got to handle the situations I can, or I got to control what I can and keep moving forward. And that's what I want you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you do when things aren't going your way? When things aren't what you want them to be in consistency with how you plan them, what happens? A lot of you freak out. Why? Because you're control freaks. I have a tendency to be a control freak too. So when things don't go your way, sometimes we freak out. But what if you just let go of what the expectation was, and you just went into the aspect of what is, will be, and you allowed it to flow, and you went with the breeze instead of against it. So I want to read a little bit here. Think and Grow, Magic of Thinking Big, sorry. They talk a lot about some good stuff in here, but this is really interesting. So they're talking about how to effectively manage your memory banks and things of that nature. And it says deposit only successful thoughts into your memory bank. Confident, successful people don't give it another thought, and they put that in air quotes. Successful people specialize in putting positive thoughts into their memory bank. What kind of performance would your car deliver if every morning before you left for work, you scooped up a double handful of dirt and put it into your crankcase? That fine engine would be a mess, unable to do what it is meant to do. Negative, unpleasant thoughts deposited in your mind affect your mind the same way. Negative thought produce needless wear and tear on your mental motor. They create worry, frustration, and feelings of inferiority. They put you beside others they put you beside the road while others drive ahead. And that's exactly what happened with me. I'm sitting here complaining about all the bad things that are happening, but we're still moving the games along. I have people who stepped up and took up spots that they wouldn't normally do, that I didn't know that were going to step up. You see what I'm saying? So it actually ended up creating something bigger. I found people who were reliable, that were right in my midst, that were willing to take care of the league because it's also their league, not just me taking care of the league. And that was a huge deal. Why? Because I couldn't control them stepping up. They did that on their own because they wanted something more from them. So when things aren't going your way, ladies and gentlemen, you might come up with an answer that you never even thought of because it was never in your wheelhouse to think about in the first place. We can't be struggling and thinking about things that we can't change. We can only change the sails. We cannot change the wind itself. And so I have one more quote here that I want to show you, and then we'll go ahead and get up off of here. And it's this: when life doesn't go your way, sometimes you have to stop worrying, wondering, and doubting. Have faith that things will work out. Maybe not how you planned, but it's just meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, life is going to happen to you. Things are not going to go your way. And when that happens, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to get frustrated, complain about it, and whine about it, throw a fit about it, pout about it, get sad about it, let it get into your emotions? I was so in my emotions and so negative and so, oh my gosh, that I realized that, and TD, I think it was TD Jakes. Yeah, it was TD Jakes I heard yesterday, and I'm just going to bring it in today, is that he said that humans are the only creatures in the world that can take immediately and flip a switch and go from having a bad emotional day to a good emotional day. That's a choice. So basically the energy that I put into that negative energy that I put into my day because it wasn't going the way I chose it to go, that day itself was created by me. That negative energy I had on it was created by me, not by anybody else. I took that in my brain because of the expectations that I had. So ladies and gentlemen, you got to let go of these expectations. You got to stop worrying, stop wondering, and stop doubting, because things are going to go the way they're supposed to go anyway. That could have happened. That day I had could have happened because I need to get this video out here. I don't know. Or to let me know that I have other people who are willing to step up and do things to help out the league. I don't know. But I can't sit here and worry about that, doubt that. Instead, I have to be able to let it go. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you not letting go of? What are you keeping so close to your chest that it doesn't have a chance to breathe? And if it doesn't go your way, then the world is in a tizzy. So you letting one thing here affect all the other things out here. You're taking that one bad thing at work and letting it, you're abusing your family. You're taking this one bad thing that happened to you in the past and you're abusing your life. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? That thing that happened to you in your life, that thing is over and you've got to get over it. that thing that happened at work, you got to get over. You can't bring that home. You wouldn't walk in your house with fleas on you, right? If you knew you had fleas covering you, would you walk in, get in your bed where it's comfortable and cozy? No. Why? Because that's taking something from the outside that's dirty and negative and putting it into your positive place. So why do you allow that to happen in your mind? Why do you take the negative things that are happening in your mind and take them home with you, take them to bed with you, give them to your kids and how you treat them? You don't think they're picking that up? Ladies and gentlemen, they are picking up everything you get. Everybody is watching you. Everybody is seeing you. And I want to make sure that you're out there giving your best positive way and your best positive face. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you got to stop worrying. You got to stop doubting, because things are going to happen the way they're supposed to happen. You just got to figure out what you're going to do with what you get. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who invented gooey butter cake actually did the recipe wrong. I don't know if you know what gooey butter cake is, but gooey butter cake, I think the flour and the sugar, the amounts are switched. And so he made the cake wrong. Or whoever did, they baked the cake wrong. And because they did that, gooey butter cake was invented. But what they said, oh, this is gross, and they threw it out, we would never have that delicacy. Life will give you things, but you have to see that what the things that they're giving you are definitely going to be used. They're pieces that you could use for your puzzle, but just because they don't fit in your box that you have created for yourself doesn't mean that it's not the box it's supposed to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to be able to let that go. The expectations have to go. The worry has to go. The wondering, the doubt, all that stuff, flick it away, because it's going to take you down. And I, like I said, I love the fact that I was having that bad day, and I was in that bad day, but then I remembered what I preach. I'm sitting here talking about, hey, have, mental toughness, and I had to remember where I came from and remember that, wait a second, DeMarcus, this is not the way you're supposed to act. And I started saying different things, and then all of a sudden, the problems started solving themselves. I could not create the problems. I could not create the energy and the solutions with that negative mindset, because negative produces negative. That was not going to produce the positive results I needed and the positive solutions I needed. But instead, I had to change my mind. It's like, okay, this is a great, blessed day. I'm out here. I'm alive. We're going to do this. That's whenever the solutions started arriving. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to think about this. When things are not going your way, what are you doing? When things are not going the way you planned them, how are you handling it? And when things are not what you want them to be, what's next? Keep the positive thought, ladies and gentlemen, and watch how much you soar. That negative, see the negative concrete, you standing in it, it gets hard, right? And you can't move, and that negative, but you can always wash it off now, but when it gets, like I said, when it hardens up, it's a whole different story. But that same concrete, that same concrete you're standing in, if you take that and you smooth it out, now you've got a road, and you've paved the road to your next solution, or to the answer that you're looking for. So don't let the concrete stop you, but instead pave it, let it harden, and walk all over it. And that's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. I will talk to you tomorrow. Happy Thursday, and I'll see you soon. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, life may not go your way, but it's how you deal with it that matters.